just a man of many shows this week. You're just all over the place.
I did the calculations, and role-playing games alone between last Saturday and by the time we finish the live show, I'll have played 23 hours of RPGs in 7 days.
Yeah.
So it's not unheard of, but 16 is normally the cap. So we're going into overtime.
Nice, nice.
But also, like, what else am I gonna do with my
Yeah, what the fuck
Adam,
else are you gonna do, Adam? You gotta play video games. Don't
exactly.
play video games for 23 hours. That's dumb.
What are you gonna do with your life, Adam? You could play role-playing games for 23 hours this week, or literally anything else. Which do you choose? I'm gonna be like, it's just hook it to my veins. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
for those that weren't watching over at twitch.tv/D&D, you did like were you giving a Roll20 tutorial, or was that an interview that happened to be a Roll20 tutorial?
Yeah, it was like a promo spot for Roll20 Presents, which is the sort of Roll20 highlight show that we do using the Tomb of Annihilation. So it was the Dragon Plus people asking me kind of like, how do you use Roll20 to do the show, and like, what do what tools do you use to stream it, that kind of thing.
I see. Yeah. Every time I see you fiddle around in Roll20, especially with the Tomb of Annihilation stuff that they built in, it makes me want to DM.
Yeah,
dude. Like there's so many things that are just like at your fingertips. That's like, welp, here's a giant fucking map. Look at that shit, players. Like, it looks really cool.
The best part of Tomb of Annihilation is that hex map, because it's literally like like I was saying in the interview, when the players look at it for the first time, it's the full map the GM gets. And then it's covered with a hex grid, and each hex is like 10 miles. And then most of the grid is covered with little beige, like, fog of war, so the players can't see what's under it. And all the players want to do is be like, cool, I guess we're just going to explore every single hex on the map, because I want to get that achievement. But as a GM, it's super easy. Just be like, cool, clear a hex, clear a hex, clear a hex. And it feels like you just run a video game. It's so good.
Yeah. I would love to have, and I'm not saying that we're going to do this by any stretch. I hate saying things like this on the show. I would love to have like a hex style grid for Court of Swords that was the Court of Swords world map. But I feel like this show is, especially now, is so narratively structured that we don't know what is out there in the world, and we don't know what it looks like.
The thing.
Right?
I was talking to Matt Mercer about this when he put out the guide for the Critical Roles like campaign setting. I was like, so you did this to coincide with like the end of Critical Role kind of part 1, and then move to another continent because you had all this information like in your mind, right? And he's like, oh yeah, we could not have written this at the beginning. Like I was just making shit up as I went along. Like I could tell you where the courts are in relation to each other, but if someone asked me to draw a map, it'd be like, Adam, draw me a map of Central Europe. I'd be like, Luxembourg is here, Germany somewhere.
Yeah,
I can't do it. So yeah, tough. I mean, it's the kind of thing that by the time we would be ready to use it in the show, we would have to have been done the show. Like, ask me again at episode 100. I bet you I could put together like a loose map for you.
All right, 38 episodes to go. Or no, 38 episodes. 38 episodes.
Don't do math
to
on
go.
stream. Don't do it.
Math is just tough. It's tough. Well, cool. Go watch all the stuff that Adam's put out there. A lot of it has been on here with Nebula Jazz, and then 16 hours of Court of Swords.
Go watch the goddamn roundtable, because that thing was boss.
Yeah, or you can watch that.
I had so much fun. It was so good. If people haven't watched it yet, the 5e roundtable. It's on YouTube. Make time for it.
Go watch it.
Great.
I was actually asking JP before the show how it went, and the reason why I asked is because I saw a couple of your tweets about like you like pointing out some of the the downfalls of 5e and shit, and you're like, Jesus, nerds, relax. I like it.
It's like it's constantly, every time we do a show like that, I have to be like, afterwards, I have to put out a public service announcement like, hear ye, I don't hate Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I'm critical of it, and if I hated it, we would not be on episode 60 anything. We wouldn't have gotten episode 10 if I didn't like 5e. So like, let alone running multiple 5e shows. So nerds, it's okay. I don't hate the thing you love. I just love it differently than you do. Okay? It's fine. You're going to be okay. We'll all be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what everyone else is up to. Dan, you're looking quite dapper with your red flannel shirt.
Thank you.
I feel like
dapper lumberjack.
Yeah, I feel like out of almost every week, I would say that you're usually the best dressed out of all of us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. What you checked out some video games today that just came out that I don't remember the name of exactly, and I want to say it's Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Okay.
Yeah, which sounds like a title of a porn in a castle, but
Right.
Right. What are you delivering in this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? How is that video game? Is it?
It's actually like it's a mix. Like it has really good storytelling with cutscenes and stuff, and the voice acting is pretty good. It's telling a really good story, but I'm not sold on like the gameplay part of it yet in the combat system. It kind of reminds me of that Ubisoft game where the melee based multiplayer one where you had like block in 1 of 3 directions or
For
attack.
Honor?
For Honor. Sort of like that system, but
I'm
imagine
out.
if you
I'm
had,
not playing it.
if you had 5 more little directions on top of it. Yeah, it's about like trying to like go at different angles and trying not to get blocked and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very buggy right now, super buggy. But it's a mix of like bugs and okay gameplay, and then but I really haven't gotten out of the tutorial yet, so it's hard to judge the gameplay too much.
Okay.
But yeah, it's got a lot of potential. I'll say
Okay.
that.
I was watching. I forgot if it was Lyric or Co, but I was watching the game a little bit this morning, and they said the statement. A lot of people are expecting this to have magic and dragons, and it has 0 of that. And I was kind of like, yeah, that seems kind of weird to put out. Not weird, but tough to put out a game like that in this day and age, where it's just literally about like, medieval life and that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how it sells. It was kickstarted, right? It was actually super successful kickstarted.
Yeah, like exploded on Kickstarter. It got like at least I think 3 or 4 million, something like that, maybe more. Yeah, it got a lot.
Yeah. So we'll see. What else you been playing? Anything else on or off stream?
Papers, Please was I replayed that. That was a lot of fun. I forgot how fun that game is. It's so unique and just hilarious, and one of my favorite games that's just so different from everything else.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that being a border agent could be fun and they could tell a good story with that and stuff?
You haven't
Speaking of someone that's to cross the Canadian American border like quite a lot. Yeah. Every time I drive up, I'm just like, oh, please don't send me back to Cobra Stand, please.
Yeah. You haven't really seen a game, generally when a game like that blows up, be it indie or AAA, you just see a ton of copies. I haven't seen anyone copy Papers, Please. It seems like it's kind of an idea that can only be done in one way, and that's the way that they did it.
There's a game, I wish I could remember the name of it. It might be it's called the Westport Independent, and that feels like heavily inspired by Papers, Please. It's about playing a you work at a newspaper or you run a newspaper in a authoritarian regime, and looking at the screens and some of the stuff I've seen from it, it definitely feels like inspired by it, but I don't know how much it's like you were saying, like kind of that cool. Papers, Please was successful. Papers, por favor.
Yeah, that's the translated version. Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Max, I'm going to interrupt you in eating since you're done chewing now. What?
It's good. I timed it. Actually, I was like, I feel like he's going to.
No, I saw you get ready, so I'm going to give you the opportunity. What are you eating? What's in that sandwich?
It's boar's head, by the way. If you guys don't know, boar's head's fantastic meats. It's a turkey, ham, giardiniera, which is that spicy kind of pepper blend,
right?
Italian pepper blend. I think pepper jack cheese, salt, pepper, mustard, some other cheese that I don't know what Amanda made it because I didn't have time to. A little bit of mayonnaise. It's good.
Are you a man of many cheeses, Max? Do you stray away from one cheese too often?
I'm not that picky when it comes to sandwiches, but usually it's like a provolone or a fucking pepper jack. This is some good conversation, by the way.
No. I'm only talking because
I really like this. Get Max to describe what's in his sandwich.
Yeah. Here's the reason why. It's topical for me. It's topical for me because I watched Top Chef last night, and the episode involved them going to a cheese farm where they made custom cheeses, and so that's why I'm asking because I learned.
Well, then tell me what cheeses are like. What's the
it was all like custom made. They like made their own cheeses. Their own.
This one doesn't have a name. It's just cheese. Yeah, we made it here.
That one was like Snow Blind Angel cheese or something. I don't know. It's fucking some weird name cheese, but everyone was like, "Oh, this is magical. This is great. It probably was really good." But
I've
Well,
seen the
that's
Top
good.
Chef where the guy goes like to like the different, sustainable farms where they're messing around with all sorts
Yeah.
of, stuff, creating different stuff to make it more flavorful. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It was the guy that was like, I don't know, he was super like fit and like ran a bunch. His life seemed real intense. Like,
He was super fit and ran a bunch. Okay. All right.
yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever become a person like that, but some people just have like this crazy drive. Like, how do you fit that much into your day? Like, I wake up, I run 13 miles, and then I go practice my harp for about another hour.
You know who the perfect example of that is, Max? Fucking Casey Neistat. Have you ever watched Casey Neistat's blogs before or vlogs before? Where he wakes up, he fucking runs 30 miles. He's like, now I'm back home making sure my kid gets to school, and then I'm going to go work for 13 to 16 hours.
I guess I would wager that just once you work up to that level of like being productive and you've scheduled everything real like nice and well, that it's just kind of okay. No, it's still, a hassle, but you have the energy for it because you do it and it's routine. I don't know. I'm getting better at, I just played basketball before we got here. That was fun.
Nice.
I'm waking up at like 8 or 9 in the morning. So, baby steps, trying to be productive and do stuff. But some people are just on another level, like that guy, that chef guy. He's like, I'm going to go to the farm here. And in the morning, I ran about 10 miles and I run not one, but 3 successful restaurants that are all amazing, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. All right. I'm getting my life together.
Yeah.
A little bit.
You're not better than me.
I mean, good for those people, but as humans, right? We compare, and it's just like, how are you doing that?
Yeah.
But anyway, so about this sandwich,
Yeah. Yeah.
So getting back to the important stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the really important stuff.
What type of meat was in there? Did you say so? Did you say what it was?
yeah, it was like
Boar's head, something or other?
like smoked turkey or whatever, and then the other one was some sort of ham. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Gotcha. Zeke, what about you? I think you were playing a game.
I played Shadow of the Colossus, JP. Almost beat it.
I'm already bored just because you mentioned the game.
God
I don't
damn it.
want to hear about Shadow of Colossus.
I play games too. That's all. Keep moving on. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute up and eat my sandwich.
Max, if we both look at the camera, our cameras, by the way, our eyes are green screened out because of our halo lights. It looks real ridiculous. Anyways.
Line it up with the light. Do it.
Yeah, you learn as someone who wears glasses and occasionally uses a green screen, you learn the level of what you're like, oh, there go my pupils. Here's the thing about this, and you can't see it on this show, but if I ever raise my arm into the screen, half of it just vanishes. Like you can just see right through it because so every time I'm streaming, someone's like, Adam, your arm. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, it's fine. I'm still here.
It's fine.
It's not Back to the Future. I'm gonna be okay. I'm not gonna sleep with my mom. It'll be all right. Calm down, chat.
Exactly.
Technology. It's magical.
It's pretty good. Max, how's Shadow Colossus?
It's fun. It's cool. I don't need to talk about it. If you want to move on, you can move on.
No, what I really want to know is,
Don't patronize me here.
I was watching Top Chef on YouTube TV.
Jesus Christ.
You started using it last week, right? Are you a big fan? I've sold so many people. I need a check. I mean, they give me a check because I have content on YouTube, but I need more money from them. Yeah.
You need a separate check, right? For
for advertising the shit out of this. Yeah.
I guarantee you, some people tried it out after you mentioned it for sure. At least tried the trial.
Yeah.
That's how they get you because you gotta have some sort of payment method on there.
Dude, the
And then
smartest.
you're gonna forget to disconnect it.
Look here, the smartest thing they did was advertise the entire pregame show, or they bought out the entire pregame show to the Super Bowl on YouTube Live, or YouTube TV rather, not YouTube Live. That's the streaming platform. Because every year the Super Bowl comes around, and I just want to watch the commercials, but I can't do that anywhere on the internet. But now with fucking YouTube TV, they just show the entire commercials, like unfiltered or unedited or anything. So it was great. It's super fucking smart, whoever did that there. But
the part of me that was an advertiser is so excited that people see advertising, especially like that particular subset of advertising, as like a thing worth watching. But the part of me that's a human being just laments that that's where we ended up. That someone is like, I'm so excited for this new pizza rolls ad. I just can't wait. It's going to be amazing. And then it is. And you're just like, oh,
look,
why?
Here's
is it
the
like
thing.
this?
Here's the thing. I will always, for the rest of my life, however many years that is, or days, or if you want to get real crazy, minutes, I will buy Tide because of those ads. The fucking Tide ads were the best ads of the Super Bowl. It was the smartest. It was probably the smartest thing I've seen in advertising in a very, very long time, where they made you think that every fucking commercial was a tight ad. It was super smart. Super smart. It's gonna be. You're gonna see that in a fucking college textbook. I guarantee you.
It's a thing. Like good advertising, like a really good advertising campaign is like effective to like people want to watch it, and you watch it, and you're like, yeah, I do want to buy the world of Coke. Damn. Right? It works because it's good content, right? Like that's why they got Ridley Scott to do that Apple ad in the 80s. Like it's like, here is basically a very short movie that happens to be about buying a computer.
Yeah.
Like it's a thing. It's just very strange when you think about it. Like the commercials, they're the best part of the Super Bowl. Forget you, football.
Yeah, the football was lousy. So
I actually like the game. I like watching the game.
The game was
Tom
good.
Brady lost. Fuck you, Tom Brady. He lost.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, the game is pretty good.
I'm not even that invested in football. I just didn't want him to win again.
I know a lot
Tom
of
Brady's
people.
always funny.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that did that, or that wanted.
No, I
that.
had a lot of fun watching the actual. Can you? How's my mic, by the way? I know it was
You're
kind of
fine.
peaking or whatever.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay. I had a lot of fun watching the Super Bowl, and I've watched it with the same group of people, and mainly just one dude that's a friend of mine, because he is a heavy sports gambler.
Oh,
and
God.
just sitting next to him while he's watching this, because he has like 30 to 40 bets, different bets on the game. Like, will this guy get this many yards? Will
Who
this
wants the
guy
coin
catch
toss?
this many passes? Who will do the? I bet $25 against him on the coin toss.
I want to bet on stuff like that. Like bet on a coin toss of a game like that. It'd be crazy. It'd be a lot of fun.
Well, it's fun. It's fun to hear him talk about it, because he goes like, well, the odds of this are like 40 to 1, but I mean, there's an outside chance that it'll happen. You know, he won $3,000 because he put like some small amount of money down that the Patriots would score exactly 33 points, and he won. It was like a fucking 50 to 1 bet,
Jesus.
and he won $3,000 because of that.
That's how gambling
I've seen him
addiction
lose tons of money, but to watch that happen and be like, and watch him go like, come on, clock, come on. Yes! Like exactly 33 points.
Yeah.
Think about how many exciting opportunities we would have gambling on Court of Swords. Like anybody want to take a $20 bet that Max ends the episode with less than half his full hit points? I put 10 on it.
Yeah.
The over under.
We should
Over
start
under on how much HP?
We
Like
should
who's
start.
gonna take the first?
Wait,
Who's gonna take the first damage?
I was gonna say we should start a role play betting, but then that would mean that the house and that would be bad.
just
That's
sounds
against
like a
gambling.
whole thing.
Yeah, we'd get
I
in
found
trouble.
this cool site called RollPlay Bets. I don't know. It's pretty cool. They reached out for a sponsorship. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I think
Yeah, it'd be great.
I think we start small and just do a Court of Swords Deadpool. Like who dies first?
Right.
I win.
Yeah.
And
Yahtzee.
the odds on favorite would probably be me. But you want to take the long bet. You want to take the long shot. You vote against Berg, because Berg's got survivability, but he also takes a lot of hits. So like the odds, what would the Vegas odds be on Berg biting the dust first?
Yeah.
Once
like-
people start betting for Berg to like he's gonna live, that's when he dies. Once people are like, he's a sure thing. His name is Berg the Undying. Like,
Chat's already
And
got a great
also,
name. We could be roll pay. That's the name.
Roll pay.
RollPlay.
Roll pick. There you go. That's great.
Yeah.
No, but also like you got to take into account like Berg's the guy who said to basically a godlike person like, go ahead, do it. I dare you. Fuck you. Go ahead, try it. Try and kill me.
But that's the thing. The guy with the death wish never dies, right? He's the fucking Charles
Exactly.
Bronson of the show. Like he's just gonna live forever while the world burns around him.
It's true.
Yeah.
Good call on the Charles Bronson, bro.
That's true. It's very true. Well, now that you started us all gambling, Zeke, thank you for that. We appreciate it. Zeke, you've been playing. Let's not piss Adam off. How do you, Zeke? You take a stab at it. Go ahead. What's the game you've been playing, Adam?
Yeah. So
I mean Zeke. What's the game you've been playing, Zeke?
I've been playing Yakuza.
So desu ka? Yakuza ga ii desu.
Yeah, no, I mean, I go back and forth between trying to pronounce it right and not, because like I feel like Alex Trebek when he has like a clue in a different language. He's like,
all I can ever think about when someone mispronounces that specific Japanese word is that episode of Archer where Pam gets in with the Yakuza, and like every time I'm just like, you sound like Pam, and that's okay. You can sound like Pam. I'm into it.
Sure.
yeah. No, but when he's like the coffee magnate Juan Valdez
I love
was
it.
once heard to remark, you know, like that kind of shit. Like he just breaks from speaking like really perfectly proper English to like this really flared like other language. It feels weird.
Yeah.
To,
Yeah, the other
say
day,
it like
me
and not like
me and my
anglicize
friends,
it.
yeah, me and my friends Max and JP, we went to do some karaoke. Like it's just that you don't just it's okay to say it like an English word.
Yeah.
You still digging it? Did you play it this weekend?
I love it, man. It's so much fun, and I gotta say, as far as games go, this probably would crack like of all time. Would crack at least the top 10, if not the top 5, for script and voice acting. Like it is so good. Like it's the mocap. They capture this so well. It makes the goofiness of like the karaoke or the phone booth thing that you do, the call girl, like you talk on the phone, that shit. It makes the goofiness of that. It offsets it so well because it's so serious but so well done. It's not like over the top, and it has so many different kinds of stories, like stories of brothers and father figures and all this kind of different stuff. But then, you know, you meet Mr. Libido and he's just walking around Japan in his fucking underwear doing his fucking thing. And he's great. He's like Party Boy from fucking Jackass.
Nice.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so jarring, but in a good way, because it's like, oh, right, I'm playing a video game, you know? I'm having so much fun with it.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, Yakuza Zero is the and it's actually, I guess it was not originally Yakuza Zero, it was Yakuza like Target or something.
I think Yakuza Zero is not a remake or anything. It's a prequel, and they remade the original Yakuza, and that's what came out recently, right?
No, I'm talking about like the actual title of the game.
Oh, they changed it for America or something.
It doesn't translate or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't like it
Well, like the
doesn't-
difference between Resident Evil and Biohazard, or like there's just a word that doesn't really, because that happens.
I'm trying to see if chat. No one, and we have zero weebs here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kicked a cord in my fucking.
I did that during the round
computer
table, by the
and,
way.
like-
It was real funny.
Yakuza, known in Japan as Ryu ga Gotoku, like a dragon, is an action adventure video game.
Oh,
Okay,
that's about
so-
Goku? Is it a Dragon Ball Z game?
Yeah. Ryu ga Gotoku,
Okay.
like a dragon. Like a dragon.
I had that already in my head. I was just I was waiting for somebody to verbalize it.
I did it.
But yeah, like, to sum up, like Yakuza is a fucking amazing game, and it's a lot of fun. I really didn't expect it to be as well acted and well scripted as it was. Like I expected
Nice.
it to be like because Grand Theft Auto 5, pretty well done. But this just like is just that much better than that. Like, and the reason why I compare it is because it's comparable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a third person sort of open world ish where you can run around and do like side shit, or you can go on the main quest, and the main quest has a lot of cool stuff, and like on the side shit it gets a little weird and goofy, but like in America it's like all violence and explosions, and in Japan it's like this weird sexual shit.
Right. You've just described the fundamental difference between East and West. Like that's it. You just nailed it. Like there you go. Let me present you with your Asia Studies doctorate. Like there you did it. Japanese culture is the weird sex shit, and American culture is the violence. And that's you did. Good job.
Nice. Well, the last
But
thing.
yeah, so that, and I'm actually have a game on pause right now. I'm playing Slay the Spire,
Oh, you're addicted
and that
still?
game is just,
Okay.
it's so addicting and so much fun, and just I love it. I have like
and
70
sometimes super
hours in it.
frustrating.
Oh, that's I think that's what keeps me coming back. Is that you'll get to the last boss and you'll have this fucking awesome deck, and then the last boss has like the counter to your deck, and you're just sitting there like, you motherfucker, can I just get one block or one attack card and I'll win? Nope.
I can I could only play that game for so much. Instead, I'm playing World of Warcraft. You know, the hot new title.
I heard fell back into that, huh?
It's rough. Everyone's face was just of disgust right there. I'll just kind of It's like, it's like everyone just had a bad waft of smell enter into their area.
It's not that I'm disgusted. It's that I'm disappointed and a little worried for you.
Okay.
I thought you got better. Listen, if it's between that and Path of Exile, I know I would rather that you were playing World of Warcraft.
Path of Exile is the reward I get once I move. They start a new league in March. And I'm coming back. Dan's going to be there. I know Dan's going to be there day 0 with me. He's going to be going against Shaper again. I hope you actually kill him this time, Dan. I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a long grind, though.
Well, let's just leave it at that. Let's just stop there. Let's just stop. We're going to...
Yeah, I think... I'm with the chat, man. I think WoW 2. I think if they did WoW 2, I might jump back again.
Oh, yeah.
Just to see.
WoW 2
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, everybody would, right?
WoW 2 would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
They could even... It'd be so huge that a game called World of Warcraft 2 could fucking just... They don't even need to work on the name. That's it. That's all you got to do. It would just sell a shit ton. Yeah. Be great. Yeah. I'm going to break my own rule, though. We're going to go a little bit past 30 minutes because I don't know another time I get to ask you guys this. What do you want to drink and eat when you get here in terms of this entire weekend so that I can go to the store and get it tonight?
I want boar's head, meats.
Moet
you want some boar's head over there, Max? You want me to get you some roasted turkey? Scoots wants some Dodger coffee.
Scoots gonna be there? Oh, I'm out, man. I'm sick of that guy.
I just show up and there's a literal boar head. I got what you wanted.
I'll go kill a boar. All right, we're in the middle of the country.
Yeah,
you're in Texas. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm dead serious though. What do you guys want?
Barbecue. What do you? I want that barbecue that we had last time. I'm into that.
Barbecue is always good.
Okay.
Barbecue is good.
All right.
Are you talking just like to be in the house to eat? Or
yeah. You want some like sodas? You want some Coca-Cola? What do you want here?
I would like some natural ice beer.
Okay.
Daddy ice. Oh,
don't get that.
Scoots is good on the Soylent. We're good on the Soylent. Yeah. Zeke, what do you want?
I like sugar-free energy drinks, like sugar-free Rockstar, sugar-free Red Bull.
Okay.
Be fine with me.
All right. We've got some of that.
I'm fat enough as it is.
Gotcha. Dan, what about you?
Get some regular Red Bulls. Those are cool too.
Okay. I'll go get some.
Water and coffee, I guess.
Okay, that's easy. We got both. Adam, what about you?
That's squared away. If we have the barbecue, I'm good with anything else. I'm fine to just become streamer trash for the weekend and just live off energy drinks and Soylent. So it's fine.
And then
exactly right. I don't do that very often. So fucking give me that full on Red Bull.
Okay.
the esports experience.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I can handle that.
If you want to stock any kind of whiskey, that'd be fine by me.
We've got a bunch.
I'm there with you.
When I had everyone down here for the Star Wars movie in December, whatever it was, I'm forgetting the name, The Last Jedi. We bought a bunch of alcohol, and then no one drank
and
it.
Pocket didn't drink it all?
Yeah. Pocket, she polished away. Pocket polished away about I don't know, probably 3 quarters of rum. Her and Jesse, a good 3-liter bottle of rum. So we got some, but we also
whiskey
got some
and some Coke would be good.
We got some Tennessee
just
whiskey.
Coke, that works too.
Okay,
that's all I want though.
Okay, all right.
Whiskey, Coke, and then everything else they said is fine.
Okay, sounds good.
And also, I'll just send you a list now.
No, that's why I'm doing
I got
this.
a writer.
Yeah. Because usually you guys show up and I'm just like, fuck, we don't have anything but Soylent
Yeah,
and water.
People need food to live.
Yeah.
You know what? You're being proactive. I respect it. You're gonna put this in, slot this in your schedule after you get that like 10-mile run in the morning.
Yep, I'm waking up 10 miles, 8 a.m. tomorrow. 8 a.m.
Yeah.
That's when it starts. Yeah. It's gonna be
I'm
great.
excited. I'm excited that I keep forgetting that Zeke. Not that Zeke is on the show, but he's gonna be there because every time I go,
You show up every week. Oh my God, Zeke's on the show. That's right.
You're still here. No, I'm
He
excited
hasn't
to
kicked you
have
off
him.
yet. Jesus.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This weekend will be fun for sure. But first, we got to make sure that all our characters get there. Because I know Scott's over there waiting. He's just waiting for someone to die so that the overlays don't have to get changed.
Listen, if Scoots is standing around waiting for someone to die, maybe you get that motherfucker a mirror. Cause
Jesus. I'm like, I got headphones, or he'd be over here screaming in the mic. He's gonna have to go check the VOD now.
Going after everybody today. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be our boss. Goddamn. Adam's gonna kill us.
Brutal. My voice hits a
show.
higher octave because of that. That was crazy.
It's gonna be an NPC be like, listen, Berg, you dumb fuck. You dumbass piece of shit. Used to be a slave.
Listen, dude, it's Quentin Tarantino's Court of Swords.
No. Now he's taking it out on me.
So I just looked at my itinerary again. I'm flying in on Thursday. I'll be there Thursday night.
Yeah.
And we have all of Friday. Mm-hmm. To play Dark Souls, the board game.
Maybe.
Yeah, I can bring it.
No, I've got it. I bought it over here.
Oh, you have one? Okay, then hell yeah, we totally should play it. It's fun.
I get there on Friday, right?
That would
Yeah.
be a great idea.
But it's earlier
we've
Friday,
got
I
the
think. I don't think we
table
get
and
late.
everything.
It's earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
dude,
We'll have a
let's do
decent
it.
amount of the day then.
Yeah. For sure. Maybe we'll play some Dark Souls board game. We'll see.
And
Be
Zeke, you said you're
hungover for the
in
next
Thursday?
day. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I get Thursday at like 9-ish p.m.
Okay, cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
you get
I'm
it
in Thursday.
9-ish? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, we're going to see Black Panther at 10:30, so you might just Uber straight to the.
Fuck yeah, we're seeing Black Panther? I didn't know that.
Well, we are on Thursday, Max. So you're coming in Fridays.
Fuck! God damn it. I'm so
It's
upset.
awkward. It's awkward that you made us call it out like that, Max. We were trying to be gentle with you, but
We were trying.
Whatever.
We were trying.
You guys
that's
used to
fine.
be
Maybe
cool.
maybe some Texan dad will get mad at me for cussing in front of his kid like last
Yeah,
time.
that was great. That was
That's
the
awesome.
best. That was so stupid. Hey, can you
Don't say the S word in front of my kid.
Don't say the S word in front of my kid. What were we seeing? Oh yeah, we were seeing Blade Runner. Wasn't it Blade Runner?
No, it was the last Star Wars. I think this was a long
Rogue
time ago.
One?
This is like one of the first ones. Yeah, it
Yeah,
might
I was
have
at
been Rogue
this.
One.
Is at the draft house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Rogue One. I think is when that happened. That was so stupid. Anyways,
Anyway.
we're here to play some D&D, so let's talk about our goals and
Yeah, let's do it. So
play some
we
D&D.
adjusted goals at the end. We adjusted goals at the end of the last one. So these goals are set unless somebody has like an emergency ripcord goal they wanna pull. I know it's only been a couple of days. So Berg, your goals are reattune the hammer, find out why bad things keep happening to you, and learn something personally meaningful about the culture from which you come from these travelers. Ramus wants to learn about orc religion. Find out if you were guided here by the star, if there's like a purpose for your coming here, and then just straight up like find out where you are, because right now all you know is a former temple to the star out in the desert. Sully, you want to find the smartest orc and learn something from them.
Yep.
You want to find out where you are before Ramus does, and then you want to discover the origin of the scarabs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Calumet, you want to negotiate with the orcs to help get you back to the city, find out what the prisoner in the oubliette was, and then learn the source of the smoke on the horizon. So those are our goals for today. And I promised you last time, Max, that we would spend a bit of the beginning of the episode talking about the various arsenal that you're carrying around, because you want to attune to this hammer. And there's been a couple of days, and you are close to regaining your full intelligence capacity, certainly enough to want to either reattune to the hammer or figure out your other weapon, because you still have that dwarf hammer too. So what do you want to do? Let's talk about that.
In terms of like which one do I want to attune to or try to attune to?
Yeah, I mean, what's your primary situation here? Because imagine, if you will, that Berg, you are resting inside the temple, and you have before you two magical weapons. One of which a silver or platinum plated mace shaped like the head of a beautiful human woman, given to you by a dwarf who now no longer needs it. And then you have the erstwhile apology of Emperor Fei, which once was an ancient court of coins weapon, but now is a oozing mess. There's magenta and black goo dripping from its surface, and it has a sort of ominous aura to it. But both of them remain magic items, and with effort and study, you could certainly attempt to reattune yourself to one or the other. I'm gonna check how many weapons you can be attuned to in case you want to do.
I
both.
say both. I'm staring at both of them, and I'm just like, God, I love you both so much, and I'm kissing them, Adam. No, I'm saying, well, what are we talking about as far as oozing?
really
Like, how much?
I believe
like-
you can, for items that require attunement, it's 3. You can only attune to 3 of them.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So the hammer, that's the face. You can just take time to examine it, but I don't think it's not significant enough to attune to. It has a story and a purpose, but it's not like the hammer, which is like a special item that will require reattunement in this case.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm choosing between the two of them to try to attune or reattune to, I'm gonna try the apology because
Sure.
that one is,
Okay.
is more special to Berg.
Yeah, in studying the two, the second, the hammer with the face on it, like the apology of Emperor Fate, it has a name. Its name is Charlene. You don't know any more of its backstory, but that is a thing that is clear to you. The hammer's name is Charlene. She's a beautiful lady, and she loves smashing bad guys. But that hammer is a minor magic item. The apology of the former apology is containing of a deeper, more embodied power. And I think, I mean, what is the process of? Usually, the process of attunement generically is you spend time in meditation and contemplation of the object in question, kind of attuning its magical aura to your own. What do you do? What does Berg's process of attunement look like more specifically?
I think Berg's he's standing before the hammer, staring down at it like on a table, and he's trying really hard to stare into like the design and stuff, and he's thinking back to the way it used to move, and like kind of he heard like the whispers of the hammer as kind of the scene played out. And then also while doing that in his head, he's remembering like the motions and all the battles and people that he's fucking smashed with it. He's trying to like replay that in his head and just remember what that felt like being connected to the hammer in a way. And I think every now and then when he feels like maybe he's close or like he feels something special, he's trying to like grab the hammer itself and lift it, see if it becomes lighter and more agile in his hand. And he keeps repeating this process, and maybe if it's not working right away, like as it doesn't work maybe as quick as he'd like, he's like fucking hitting the walls and stuff, and then he tries to calm himself down, which is very hard for Berg. And
yeah.
so
I think
like his process.
I think the angrier you get, the more in tune with the hammer that you feel you are. The closer to its magic, the more its resonance matches with yours. And for now, it's just your mundane anger. It's just angry, not rage. But the closer you get to that dark place, the closer you feel to the hammer. It has a buried anger resonating from it.
Okay, so it's not quite there.
Well, I mean, you can continue to experiment. You can talk to me about what you think Berg would do to try to like get closer to.
Well, yeah. I mean, as Berg's, I guess as he keeps doing it, he probably realizes, the more angry he gets, the more closer to that feeling of power and connection to the thing. I might even say he just goes into a rage, like he just straight up goes into a rage.
And what are you like attacking? Are you just like attacking a piece of stone or?
Yeah, whatever's nearest to him, whether that be like, I mean, we're in the temple, right? So it's like
you could be outside. Yeah, you could be outside in the temple proper. You could be like in the grounds.
Yeah, probably in the grounds, just so as to not disturb everybody else. Especially after he realizes, I'm going to say after he realizes that he's getting, the closer he gets to a rage, he gets closer to reattuning to the hammer. So he goes outside, like huffing and puffing, and trying to contain the rage before he slips into it. Before he is inside. He doesn't want to rage inside. Is what I'm trying to say. And wording it very poorly.
Yeah, you don't want your rage to be somewhere you're going to damage something important or
Exactly, right, yeah.
You're outside
While he
just
still has-
smashing rocks with it. Yeah.
While he still has, you know, a sane mind, and not, you know, completely taken over by his rage, he goes outside and then just lets it rip.
Nice. Can you make a wisdom save for me?
Okay.
Please?
Do I have any inspiration? I don't know if I do, actually.
You might.
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I'm launching the thing. You said wisdom save? Or
Yes,
check or whatever?
Wisdom saving throw. Yeah.
God, it's being so slow. No inspiration. All right.
Okay. Boop. Oh wow, nice. Double 15s. That's very good for Berg.
Yay!
Okay, so you don't lose control. You don't black out. You feel. I think what we see you, and the rage overtakes you. Right, your lip curls back from your tusk, and you swing the hammer and smash it into a piece of foundation nearby, and we see chunks of this sandstone just blast out like it was hit by a fireball. But instead of the chunks of stone like hitting the sand and leaving a trail, instead of the dust settling, the hammer pauses in midair. The dust freezes. The chunks of stone hang suspended, and we can see everything has come to a halt. Everything is frozen. There is a single sort of perfect crystalline bell tone. We hear the single note. And then, Berg, you suddenly feel separated from your rage. It's like all of a sudden you don't feel that anger, and you're looking at yourself. You see your own face, a mask of anger and berserker power. You see the hammer swinging in your hand. You can see a faint sort of flickering aura around you. And you're standing back from yourself, viewing this.
Damn.
What are you gonna do?
So I'm like in this. I'm kind of like, it's just a frozen moment, like where I'm out of body experience, kind of staring at Bird.
Yeah. You're out of body, looking at yourself.
Okay. Am I like floating, or am I just kind of like behind it?
It's just like you kind of got pulled back out of yourself, and you're looking at the your own body. You can see your muscles straining under the weight of the hammer. You look, I don't know, I'll let you decide, but like Berg in a rage is a monstrous force. Like you're to be feared when you're in your berserker rage. So you see this for the first time, right? You've looked in mirrors.
I think, it really kind of catches him off guard. And one, he didn't see this shit coming, and two, he's never seen himself. He's seen other beings go into rage before, but this is the first time he's seeing himself, and it actually kind of like startles him. Like he's like looking around like this, puzzled and perplexed, and he maybe does one of these kind of things, like, as he's having this out of body, like ethereal experience. Maybe he tries to. I think he would try to like walk towards, like around, himself, if it's actually like a suspended kind of moment.
Yeah. So you're like walking around, looking at yourself. We see you as an idealized version of Berg, right? Before you is the way Berg actually is, but you are a sort of semi-transparent version of the way Berg sees himself. What's different between the two? Like, how does Berg see himself that's different than the way he actually is in reality?
Okay, so you're saying like Berg seeing himself differently than...
Yeah, you
just want to see how Berg sees himself.
Yeah, you're a perfected version of yourself. You're like what Berg imagines himself to be like.
Okay. I think I want to say that the scar across his chest is like kind of muted or just not there.
Mm-hmm.
His muscles are probably a little bit larger than than what he actually is, just because he knows he's powerful, but in his head he's just like blah, especially in rage form. And the bracelet, the clamp on his wrist is completely gone. His eyes look determined and angry, but they are removed from sorrow. I guess he looks a lot more like at peace with the rage, rather than just raging to fight away the world, I guess, as it were. So he kind of stares long and hard at himself and just like that's what I could look, that's what I want to look like. You know what I mean? Like he even recognizes that in himself. And again, it's like this weird realization. Like that's,
Yeah. You
he's
so
basically
you're
seeing a Berg at peace with himself and with rage. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
like the
Like a
the rage
Berg
is
that's not
empowering
fighting so hard.
and yeah, and not pulling you along. Instead, you're in control. Of it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
Rather than
I
being
gotcha.
dragged along like an anchor, it's flying.
So you, as you look at the this physical version of you, this sort of brute version of Berg, you hear a voice behind you, and while I don't think you certainly haven't heard it in this context. Something about it strikes you as familiar, though you couldn't place why. It's a quiet voice and comes from nearby, and says. Interesting, the differences between the way we see ourselves and the way that we are seen.
He like does like one of these like
Turn to look, yeah.
What is that?
So when you turn to see where the voice is coming up, a figure walks up beside you. He's a little taller than you, but by no means as massive. He is thin, pale of skin. He has long, graceful, pointed ears, and his skin is like very, very white, like not even peach, but like white. And his hair is sort of an ash gray, and it's pulled back into a sort of ponytail behind him. He's wearing just plain, like dark colored robes, and like you, he's sort of semi transparent. Like you're both kind of visitors in this space. And you turn to look at him, and he looks at you, and his eyes are where our eyes are white, his are black, and where ours would have color, his are that magenta of the stuff that like drips from the hammer.
I guess Berg, when he doesn't say anything, after Berg saying, okay. What is happening? What are you? Who are you?
You may call me Tulpa. I am, for now, merely a passenger, along for the ride that is your life. You awakened me some years ago, and I have been following you ever since, watching through your eyes, feeling the world with your hands.
What do you want with me?
I want to take a more active part in this story, Berg. I want to help you, but you need to let me.
No one wants to help me. This is what I've learned.
That's not true, Berg. You're a prisoner of this world, of its rules, its cycle of punishment. What have you ever done to earn the black fate that you carry around? I have seen the way you suffer.
These things, they happen to me. I've come to accept it. I used to fight. Now, I wonder if it's worth fighting any longer.
There is another way, a better way. You can free yourself from the shackles of the gods, the Mara, this crude world. You can have everything that you deserve, that you desire. I can help you. You may not know it, but you and I share an enemy, Berg. And I would see them cleared from our path.
Everything I desire. Words spoken many times by those that would put me in shackles.
I have no shackles for you, Berg. Your freedom empowers me. We want the same things. And he looks at you like holding the hammer, and he says, you wish to wield it again. I can make this possible for you. This and more can awaken its power. Awaken your power. Together, Berg, we can do this.
Oh.
Simply wish for it. Choice is the greatest power.
I guess Berg just he like looks around and looks at the hammer as he's speaking, and promises this, being able to reconnect with the hammer and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess he just, if this thing is connected to him this way, he thinks he's like, I want to be reconnected with the hammer. Like I want to be able to destroy my enemies with it and feel that power that he once had.
Mm-hmm.
Probably his eyes are closed and he's imagining that.
Yeah, and
that's happening.
I mean, I think the thing is there is that feeling of choice. Like, do you take what the Tulpa is offering?
Yeah, I think Berg does. He thinks about it for a second, and before like the moment where he succumbs to what the Tulpa is asking.
Yeah. Okay. So he feels that choice being made. You don't have to say it. He's in tune enough with your mind to know. And he nods and he says, "You have chosen." And he smiles slightly and he says, "This is the beginning of something that will empower us both. I cannot speak to you this way easily, but you will feel my presence. Meditate upon it. The bond will grow with time, and I think you will need it soon." And then you snap back into reality, and the hammer suddenly feels like it's just like cutting through the air as easy as can be. Like it's suddenly part of you again. And we finish the swing, and the dust flies, and the rocks hurl out into the desert. And yeah, you can heft it with ease. And I think you feel a sudden sense of like balance or of peace. And everybody else, like Ramus, Sully, the monk, and Calumet, you notice that when Berg hit the stone, there's like a shockwave, like the temple shakes slightly. Some rocks kind of like fall, and we see kind of a ring of force like fire out into the desert when he finishes the swing, and then the dust clears, and Berg, you're holding the hammer. And now the hammer, instead of the way we saw it before, that sort of sphere with the images around it, it has a strange sort of crystalline like substructure to it. It seems to be made out of dark metal and crystal. It's still an enormous like mass, but it kind of looks like a Draenei weapon from WoW. It's like a big hammer made out of solidified crystal with a mesh of black metal around it. Its new name is Tulpa's Conduit, and if you continue to work at it, you can unlock some of its other powers. But you have your hammer back, admittedly in a changed form, but you are armed once more. So I'll make those changes on your sheet for you.
It's 2018, phase old news. All right, it's the year of Tulpa. All right.
So does anyone come running out when they hear this like sudden like crash?
Yeah, I think I definitely do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we all alerted.
We're probably all
running
asleep,
out.
and we poke our heads up. And did you hear that, Ramus?
Well, actually, I was actually writing this down in my character sheet, but as we have like kind of some downtime and some free time, I'm taking the opportunity to sit and like and sketch like moments from our time together. And I went out to find Berg, and I wanted to see if that was okay, if I could like kind of like, undetected, just kind of watch him do this and like have like a sketch of him like attuning himself to the hammer.
That's up to Max, I think.
Okay.
What is you're trying to watch him as he's doing this? And
Yeah, I'm drawing it.
okay. I mean, I don't know why Berg would stop him from doing that.
Okay. Sure. So for you, from the outside, yeah, it looked like Berg came outside, took a couple of practice swings, and then really reeled up, took the swing. There was a blast of dust and rock, and when it cleared, Berg is holding a different weapon. It seems the black goo has sort of peeled away like a chrysalis, and underneath is this sort of shining magenta crystalline hammer weapon.
Sounds fucking badass.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, so everybody comes out with the final smash.
Yeah, I think me and Ramus, I wouldn't say come running out, but we're definitely walking out towards the noise to see what the fuck's going on.
And Berg is sitting there like chest heaving, like wielding the weapon, like now like kind of he might even do like a little bit more of like, you know, and like feeling the weight being gone, the burden of it pulling towards the ground as he tries to swing it around in the air.
Is it pretty noticeable to us, Adam, that this is the same weapon and two that he's handling it a lot better?
I mean, I don't know if it's obvious that it's necessarily the same because it looks pretty different.
Sure, but he's got something new in his hand, so we're able to notice that at least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's fairly clear.
All right. Yeah, we probably. I think we were sleeping inside the tower, inside the tent.
I want to make a quick note too. The Tulpa, I don't think I heard him say anything like that, but he didn't mention anything about like keeping it secret or anything. Like he didn't say like this is just us or anything, right? I don't think he said that.
No.
Okay, good.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we run out. Berg, what is that in your hand? Where did you get that?
Berg like coming out of the rage. He's
Something happened. I don't know what.
Are you
he's just like holding the weapon towards outstretched, but like so you can easily see it. But it's if you're staring at it, you can tell that it's different.
right? Are you okay? See that you're out of breath.
Berg actually like takes a moment to like look around and like, you know what I mean, like maybe like instead of just wielding the hammer, he's kind of stretches his muscles and his back and stuff. He doesn't feel any different in terms of like his actual just normal neutral feeling, right?
Yeah, no, you just feel like strong and reassured, and you have the thing back that you wanted for so long.
Yeah.
It's back. I feel at one with it again. Different, but better.
And like stares up at you guys.
Yeah, I turned to Ramus. Has this happened before? Has Berg done anything like this?
Ever since he has weird episodes every now and then where he goes a little loopy, usually when he's pounding with that hammer. But wait a minute, what is that hammer? Where did you get that?
I think we like walk down the steps and get a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
It changed. Someone talked to me mid-swing. I saw myself, but different. It spoke to me.
I'm gonna make an
Did you fucking make a deal with the Mara, you son of a bitch?
No, not the Mara. Ramus, how dare you?
What else could make such a thing happen instantly like this?
It said its name was Tulpa, I believe.
I rolled an 11 to see if I could discern the weapon. Can I roll another Arcana check on that word?
Yeah, so the 11 on the weapon, I mean, I can tell you that it's not made of any material you recognize. Certainly you wouldn't make a hammer out of
Glass
out
or
of
whatever.
crystal. It would
Yeah.
shatter, yeah. So obviously it's magical, but yeah, it's not a construction that's familiar to any magical smithing processes that you know.
Okay.
The word, I think that it's in a language that I know that Sully doesn't speak, but I think Ramus, you might recognize it. Can you make a history check?
Sure. 13.
Okay. You don't know what it means, but you remember it very vaguely from one of the lessons when you were a child studying in the monastery, studying the shards of that ancient sort of mysterious manuscript where you learned what you call Elvish. This kind of mystic language that you've never spoken with another person, but it's like a language. It's like ancient Greek. Lots of people know it, but it's not really like used for anything. And it's learned from like a Rosetta Stone style, like ancient relic. So it's a dead language or an alien language, but you know bits and pieces of it because you have that. And Tulpa is a word in that language, but you don't know what it means.
That word, I've read it before, but it's from an ancient race we know almost nothing about. How would you know that name?
You're asking Berg?
Yeah, Berg.
It spoke to me, told me to call it Tulpa. It said it was a traveler of sorts. I don't know exactly why or what it is, but it promised me things could get better if we worked together.
Adam, I'm going to use something I haven't used before. This part of my background as a sage is I have this thing called researcher. It says when you attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore, if you don't know that information, you can often know where and from whom you can obtain it. So I want to use it on that word Tulpa.
Okay. Yeah. There's because the city of Brass contains, the sum of human knowledge. The word seems familiar to you. You remember it from a school of mystics who were attempting to separate the soul from the body so as to both to self-observe and to attain a more pure form, right? If one could live only as a soul and free oneself from their body, they would live a purer existence. It was like a fast track to enlightenment, a way to touch the waters of the fountain in a way that no mortal could. So there is this tiny school of semi-heretical mystics that operate in the city of Brass. That word, something about that triggers that for you.
Okay. I'll make note of that.
Okay.
And potentially if we, ever make it back there or et cetera, we'll go down that path. But I keep that to myself.
Okay.
It's about this time that I probably realized that Kalimat's not around unless, are you actively hiding Kalimat? Are you?
I'm sorry, you were really your volume was cutting in and out. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was just me. So
For stream, but for us it was a little quiet.
Okay.
One sec.
I still could make out what you're saying, but it was a little hard to hear you.
Yeah. No, it's better now, I'm sure. Is that better or worse?
Now there's a huge buzz.
buzzing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
it just seemed like it was attenuating you.
Great.
My immersion.
Better, worse?
Same
still
as
there.
Still
before.
buzzing.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting. Well, I guess we'll just have to deal with it because I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah,
What did you just do?
if chat can't hear it, I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't care.
Nothing changed on my end.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's fine on stream, so it's all right.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were saying
I was back off a ways, kind of not making myself known, but I'm not really hiding. It's just I wanted a vantage point that I could, you know, get a good look at what was going on. And so I just like pop out from behind like some rocks or whatever and walk on over and show you guys. Oh, it's gone now.
Oh, thank God.
Along with the echo.
Okay.
That's what Kalimat says. It's gone now.
It's done now. Thank God.
No, and then I come over to you guys, and as soon as you start like walking or examining the weapon and Berg and stuff like that, I saw it all. Berg was working with the hammer, and would Adam, would you say it was like a flash of light that changed it? Like it was like it was different.
Yeah,
From the
I mean,
outside, yeah.
make an insight check.
Okay.
Make an insight.
See how well you saw this.
Okay. So I think with a 12, there was definitely something happened, right? The moment of collision, maybe there was a flash. You have that kind of after effect of like looking at a bright light and then closing your eyes, you can still kind of see the light. There was that kind of effect for a second. But that's about the gist of what you were able to perceive.
Okay. I saw something. It was, I don't know if it was if it was light or if it was just the dust from him striking, but something, I definitely saw something. And the weapon had changed. He had not left or spoke to anyone that I could see. But in the same hand where the previous weapon was, a new weapon had appeared.
I'm just sitting there scratching my chin, trying to make sense of all this. Adam, have I heard of, weapons having seeming, I don't know, almost a soul in this regard? And kind of changing on a whim or reacting to the wielder?
We talked a little bit before about the sort of blasphemous idea of containing a soul in a magic item, right? The idea of a sentient sword it's generally something like demon kings do, right? Where someone like a priest of the Mara will kill his victims and swallow their soul into his blade to empower him. Like these are bad guy stories. Transmutation magic is common, right? Items that can transform from one thing to another, that's certainly possible. You've maybe heard of weapons that, today they're a sword, but tomorrow you can make them a spear. But it doesn't seem like the Apology ever had any of those abilities. And as for Berg being able to speak to the spirit, that seems doesn't seem right. Like it doesn't seem like a thing that seems normal to you.
Okay.
But it's magic, so like anything's possible.
Right.
That's the difficult thing about being both a wizard and a sage. You want to know all the things there are to know, but the laws of magic are such. Yeah, the laws of magic are such that anything is possible, and so you'll never know everything because someone might change the rules.
Right. I think I like reach out hesitantly, Berg, towards the hammer as you're holding it. But do you mind if I hold it, Berg?
No, but be careful. I don't know how it may rest in your hand.
And Berg slowly reaches out,
Set it on the ground. I'm not the strongest one. I kind of shrug.
Yeah, Berg sits down kneels down and rests it.
Okay. Yeah, I bend over and grab the weapon. Adam, does anything happen immediately?
No, it's just like crazy heavy.
Okay. I'll reach into one of my pouches and pull out a pearl, and just like the last time when I identified a weapon, I kind of drop it on the bottom of the weapon, and the pearl kind of dissolves into this white fluid and into the hammer. I want to cast identify as a ritual and see if I can discern anything about it.
Take some time. Okay. Well, while while Selihafa is performing the identify ritual, there's 10 minutes. Ramus and Kalimat, what are the two of you up to? What are you gonna do?
I
It'll
think
take him some time to cast this.
while he's doing that, I will start the detect magic ritual to see if there's any residual magic in the area from try to figure out what happened. Like, because something obviously very magical happened, so I'll start channeling that to detect magic.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll start with I guess we'll start with the identify spell. So the two of them, the spellcasters, go into ritual mode. So I guess Kalimat, if you want to talk to Berg, you have an opportunity here, or the two of you can just wait and watch.
Yeah, I'll talk to Berg while they're doing the ritual.
Okay.
And so you, Berg, you said you heard a voice. Can you describe the voice? Do you know who made it?
What did his voice sound like? Was it just kind of, would you describe it as, I don't know, give me some, I guess, insight as to how he sounded. It's hard for me to tell.
Sure. Calm, basically, quiet. You can't remember the language that it was speaking. Like if you think about it, you're like, was he speaking Common or Orcish, or you can't place it. You remember the conversation, but not
what it was saying. Yeah.
You just understood, what it was saying. I mean, you can still remember what he looked like, but yeah. I think the words that resonate most with you, the thing you remember most about the conversation was what he said about choice is the ultimate power.
Yeah. For just time's sake, I go over his description and the black eyes and I think you said like pointed ears and like hair that was back.
Yep. Yeah.
And
It looked like he was
skin.
carved of alabaster with ash gray hair, wearing black robes, with black eyes, these sort of purple irises.
Yeah, and I go on and
His voice was quiet, calm, soothing, almost. He spoke of choice being the ultimate power, the ability to choose. He told me to choose was, I don't even know what language he was speaking, but I knew what he was saying. I knew everything.
So you had a vision?
No, not a vision. Time, a moment, stopped when I swang.
Berg says swang.
That's a word.
I was outside myself. It was very weird.
I'd imagine.
What did you see? You were here.
I saw nothing. I saw you swinging the hammer time and again. Muscles rippling and sweat. Like a man
The angrier.
possessed.
The angrier I got, the more I felt closer to the weapon. So I came out here. I didn't want to hurt anyone inside. And then I hit the rock. And I was outside of myself. I don't know how. But it feels good.
By the description, does that ring any bells with me of the person that he described?
I don't think so.
Like race or nothing? Okay.
Nope.
Well, all I saw was you getting angry swinging and swinging and swinging, and then one final swing, and the weapon had changed. How do you feel? Do you feel better, stronger? You feel any different? I see that the weapon appears to be much lighter in your hands now.
It has been a very long while since I felt this power. When I lift the weapon now, it is but a feather in my hand. It glides on the air like a bird in the clouds. It feels good.
Well, I don't know of many Orcish poems, but that might be the finest one I've ever heard.
What?
Berg like looks at you like, what do you mean? Like he doesn't even realize he was like saying that, you know?
Yeah.
He was just so like, you know, in that moment of, you know, that serenity and that peace, that connection, you know. He's just like, what? What are you talking about?
Well, all I can say, Berg, is that I'm happy you're on my side. Would you like? I actually, the reason why I was watching is because I was drawing you. Would you like to see the drawing?
I don't see why not.
I take out my little sketch pad and show him like this little charcoal drawing that I did of him, like in mid swing, like anger on his face.
Yeah, and for the second time, you see a representation of yourself, right? So now, Berg, you've been exposed to your own idea of what you look like, the physical form, the raw clay that is Berg, and now the way Kalimat sees you or saw you in that moment. And so, in a way, we're seeing these sort of three facets of Berg. Zeke, how is your drawing of Berg different from the reality? What parts of Berg does Kalimat notice and play up in this portrait?
Definitely like the character of, or I don't know if that's the right word to use, but the appearance of rage on his face is definitely a little bit more exaggerated. It would be like someone who's really mad and a drawing of someone who is mad. You have to like accentuate that to make sure everybody looking at it knows that they're angry.
Right, because a painting or a drawing isn't the thing; it's a story about the thing, and so the story here is like here is a Berg. Berg is angry, yeah, and so those things are played up.
So there's definitely like spittle flying and like veins popping out and that kind of thing of it.
Yeah. So Berg, when you look at Kalimat's drawing of you, you see, I think, the way many people see orcs, right? That all orcs are these sort of drooling monster destroyers, but also like it's a fairly accurate representation of what happened. How do you react when you see it?
I think Berg kind of like tilts his head to the side. It's like, because I mean, he knows how people view orcs, and he knows how, you know, in general, people throughout his entire life has treated him. But it's interesting to see to him, you know, to have Kalimat show him exactly like what he saw. Like, this is how he sees you. He's like, I think he actually stretches his arm and like points it, like, and taps it. He's like,
That's what you see when
and like Berg like does like the like mimics himself like going into rage.
That's what you see.
That was a question.
Well, I'm not the best artist in the world, but a drawing has to portray the subject in a manner that conveys the emotion of the event. If you were in love, there would definitely be some different facial expressions that you would have. There's no way that I don't think that you could deny that you are a terrifying visage to behold when you are angry. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
I just wanted anyone to who looked upon the drawing to see that is the face of anger, of rage. I don't want you to think that it encapsulates you totally. That is not all you are to me. I hope you know that.
I am used to feeling the rage, the blood curdling, boiling up until it swells. I rarely see it of myself anyways. It's odd. Not bad.
Like, he looks at like, I'm like, I don't want to offend you. Like,
Not bad, but
he just thinks about it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I-
obviously, I was gonna say both of you mark inspiration for the conversation, and as you're speaking, right, we pan across to Selihafa, who is like in his total trance, focused on the hammer, sitting in the shade of one of the walls, and you finish incanting the spell, Selihafa. You finish speaking the words, and the hammer, as best as is possible, sort of unfolds its mysteries to you. So, as you know, the hammer, Tulpa's Conduit, is a magic weapon. It seems to have some buried potential. There's deeper energies contained within.
Right.
It is. I think that it's like there's an external source. There's an incongruity to it that is unusual, because most items draw their magical power from the. I mean, 100% of all magic items draw their power from the fountain, right? From the energies of the world around them, kind of like the force. It pervades the universe. And most objects are ritually prepared, magic items are ritually prepared to focus that energy. So without the fountain, a potion of healing, for example, is just a bottle of strange fluid that does nothing. The way that you create that potion taps into the inherent healing magic that is present in the fountain's energy and gives it something to focus on. Same way that a spell does, right? Saying the words doesn't mean anything. It's saying the words with the intent to conjure the effect. So magic items are like solidified spells in that way.
Yeah.
This thing, however, is getting its power, which you can feel from somewhere else. There is some other power source that is not the fountain, which is like you're like an astronomer realizing black holes exist for the first time. Like this is very unusual. Whatever created this thing is outside your ability to understand.
Okay.
You cannot unravel the magic that created it. You can't understand what brought it into being, only that you know that you can't understand it.
Okay. I think I'm sitting there, like you said, I was sitting down, and I think kind of the foreground focuses on the hammer, and then in the background I see Berg and Kalimat having a discussion, and the camera focus kind of changes to the background and sees Kalimat, and I'm just sitting there staring at Berg, but I'm not really saying anything. I noticed Ramus is finished with his ritual, and I kind of look over. Did you find anything, Ramus?
Yeah. So Ramus, this place has echoes of divine magic. It's the kind of magic you saw to a degree in the monastery you grew up in. Every temple contains some essence of the magic of the prayers of the people who worship there, the hope of the people who built it. There is an ambient emotional magic that you can feel all around you, and this place feels like redemption to you. You feel that the sense of hopefulness in the magic of the place. And all of it, even though it's laying in rubble, there is this remnant, these ruins that still feel like they contain the hope of all the people that prayed here in the ancient past. The hammer itself, as you turn your attention to it, seems to be like inverse. It is absorbent of the magic around it. It doesn't have its own magic, even the magic of things that are alive. And it's not the magic of necromancy. It's not an absence of life. It's a void. It's not zero, it's null, right? Like you would, if you could see an item that's cursed by the Mara, you could feel it crawling over your soul. The Mara have a very specific vibe to their magic. It's like hearing a bell being rung backwards. It's just not right. But this is something different. This is like not being able to hear the bell at all, but knowing someone's ringing it. And yeah, it feels like a wound in the fabric of the fountain's power. Not to put too fine a point on it.
Sure.
And I'd also like to scan the aura around Berg to see if there's anything residual around him.
Berg has a faint, very, very faint aura of transmutation flickering around his stony arm. And otherwise, he just appears to be a normal old Berg. He looks the same way he always does when you look at him.
Did your spell work? Did you find anything? Because I'm having a weird problem with mine.
Ramus, it is not often I say this, but I have absolutely no idea what this is.
Me either. There's something there, but not. It's not. It shouldn't be there. Whatever created this item is different from everything you and I both know.
It's quite troubling, not knowing what this is. I'm sure you can understand that.
It has to tie with Tulpa, or we had a word for them. It was like Elvish is the best we could come up with, just to put all these into one group. Just has to do something with them. Maybe they had some sort of I don't know, some sort of something that wasn't magic from the fountain. I don't know.
Yeah, elf is a old like pre-common human word,
Right.
that was used to refer to a specific subset of spirits that would come and like they were like trickster spirits. They would steal babies and replace them with their own. You would put out like a saucer of milk to keep them away at night. The ringing of a brass bell twice before bed would keep your house safe from elves. That word very much refers to like the fair folk in that sense. But it's just a placeholder for whatever these actual things are. They never like called themselves that.
Right.
I like how that's a it's like a prank. Ha! We
I got
took
your
your
baby.
baby and put our baby there. Ha! Gotcha.
Gotcha.
I turn to Ramus and say, I wonder how much the fountain, the fake fountain, as it were, had to do with this. It seems like Berg said that thing that spoke to him said it was there for quite some time. Maybe time passes differently for a creature stuck inside of this thing. I'm not sure. I can't make any sense of it.
Yeah. Something happened when it hit that fountain that changed the weapon, and now I worry because look what happened to that fake fountain.
I'm scratching my chin.
Something just, let's get a bad feeling. Just something's not right.
You've been with Berg for, I don't know, several years. Has anything this significant ever happened around him?
There's been times where when he's in a rage and just when he ends something's life, there's a flicker of something where it's him, but not him at the same time. It's always troubled me, but it was useful, so I just sort of didn't think much of it. But something is, now that I think about it, just, he shouldn't do that. I don't know what it is.
Just stare back and look towards Berg and say, we should be careful. Let's keep an eye on him as we move forward. For our own safety, not his. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, if he really talked to some creature that we don't know anything about that can create whatever that is, it could be very dangerous.
Oftentimes in turtle culture, if we don't know what something is, we cast it out. So, keeping this here and keeping him there, it goes against everything I've learned till this day.
And Calumet, if it's all right with you, Calumet kind of overhears that and walks over to Salihafa. Well, that's a wonderful way to make friends. Something different, cast it out. I never even considered that option.
We don't make friends as turtles, you know this.
I'm hurt.
Well,
I want you to apologize to me for saying that right now.
it's a waste of air.
Oh, I know. That I'll just take that to mean to say you're sorry. All right, I'll just take that as your apology. No problem.
I look down at the ground and wave my hand over the hammer to reclaim the pearl from it, from the identify spell. As I dip my head down, the camera pans out. You can see a slight smile. That's all that said. And my face changes back to no emotion whatsoever. Is he all right? You spoke with him, I saw.
He seems fine. Nothing physically he seems like Burke. The only thing that seems to have changed is he had an experience and, well, the obvious, the weapon has changed. Other than that, he seems like the same person to me. Remus, when you have a minute, I'd like to, no other way to put it. I'd like to ask you for a favor if you have time.
Well, I have nothing better to do right now.
I stand up and walk away from this conversation over towards Berg. But yeah.
Okay. That spell you wove. Weaved? Wove. Doesn't matter. To find the direction to this place, you asked a question of the gods, or of a god. I have a question I would like to pose to your god. When I was in Utrix's domain, and we all found ourselves traveling through that cave area where the frightening and terrifying things were, and you and Salihafa turned back, and I pressed on, and I saw the prisoner. And I described that prisoner, but I went back. When you guys were at the fountain, or I assume that's where I found you, when I returned, I freed the prisoner. I'm afraid that's what might have caused the destruction of Utrix's domain. The prisoner appeared to me as one of my kind, which I had never seen outside of my family before. I don't know, I'm assuming now that this was some sort of trick, some sort of illusion. But whatever it was, I felt the call of fate pulling on me. And when I went back, I freed that prisoner. And then I woke up minutes later with no recollection of how I got there. But I was in a room that was on fire. And hold on. Oh, what's her name? God damn it. The crystal
Agni?
Agni, thank you. I woke up in a room on fire and Agni was there with no recollection of how I got there. I guess long story long, I want to know what the creature in the oubliette was. Because if it wasn't a dragonborn like I am, I want to know what it is and what I freed. Can you ask him that? If I give you a valuable item to destroy in the making of the spell?
Yeah, but first, why the fuck would you let something out in a prison full of dangerous shit? Everything locked up in there trying to kill us. Why would you open a door to any of the things in there?
I told you. I felt the call. I felt fate. I made the journey. In the prison was one like myself. I am traveled enough and old enough. I've seen enough years to admit my mistake and to admit that, yes, I might have been fooled. But if you felt what I felt, I dare say you would have made the same decision.
Yes, the fountain forgives you. I'll do your little ceremony. Do you have your offering?
I do.
Well, we can do it. It'll take some time to cast it, but this is something I think I want to know as well.
All right.
If you let something out, we need to know what it is.
Now, it says it has to be something that's worth 25 gold, at least.
Yep.
Well, I guess this is a question for Ramus. Does it have to have value to me personally, or just value to anyone?
The rules is like it's worth 25 gold pieces, but that's debatable what's worth that much. Just up to Adam, really, if it's like qualifies.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really. Yeah, it just says a sacrificial offering appropriate to the religion. I mean, the tower. Luckily, the tower is pretty open to the destruction of just about anything. Because if you destroy something, then no one will ever get to appreciate it. So it's removed from the world. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will give. I'm wondering, like that magical acorn that was like the key to the doorway to Utrix's domain.
Mm-hmm.
Would that work?
Hmm.
I mean, I would assume it's worth more than 25 gold in the right hands.
I mean, at this point, it's a key to a door that opens to nowhere. In that Utrix's realm is probably a crumbled mass of nothingness.
A lot of real estate nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes it more or less valuable. You could certainly try.
Okay. I give Ramus the acorn, the door to the void, or the key to the door to the void.
Mm-hmm.
Will this suffice, Ramus?
I don't know. You got any gold just to add to it a little more? Just
sweeten the pot.
I still want to make sure.
I mean, I can just give you, like, I have a pouch of small amount of gold. If that would just suffice, I'd much rather do that.
Yeah. If you have 25 gold pieces, we could just. The tower loves when we destroy things people love.
Very little to
Who
pay
loves
more than money.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would assume that money is right up there. Okay, I take my little pouch and I fish out 25 gold,
Mm-hmm.
and I give it to Ramus,
Okay.
and I
All
subtract
right.
it from my character sheet.
Okay. And Ramus, you're going to perform the ritual of divination.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the question?
Since it's your offering, you
In-
can do the exact question you want.
Yes. The creature, or oh,
You want to think about it, and I'll have a segment with Berg.
yeah. Let me think about the exact question that I want to ask. 'Cause I don't want to fuck this up.
By now, if you haven't all already taken inspiration, do that.
All right.
But yeah, okay. So
I'm
Sully,
gonna go down double inspiration for me if that's cool with you.
that's not how that works. No, you can't. It's already charged.
All right, double inspiration noted.
Sully Hoffa, you're gonna go over and talk to Berg.
Yeah, I'm literally dragging the hammer across the sand as I'm working my way over to Berg. I think I do it. It's quite heavy. I don't know how you swing it so easily.
I didn't until recently.
Well, it's quite the feat. I kind of rest back after the hammer's like at your feet. And I look up to D and say, Berg, I don't understand how you exist. I'm just going to be honest.
You said you don't understand how I exist?
Yeah.
I don't either, friend.
You defy every law I was taught growing up, and still everything around you defies laws. That one over there has no soul. No one knows why. I'm worried for me and Kalimat of what laws we're going to defy.
Well, remember when you first joined us? We said things get weird.
Well, I believe you more, at least now, than I did then. That's for certain.
I hope in time you don't end up paying a price for being curious about me and my friend.
I stand up and put my arm on your shoulder. I was telling Kalimat and Ramus, you might have overheard it. We cast things out that we don't understand, but we will understand this one day. We will make sense of it. That is my promise to you.
I hope you're right.
And I think at that time I see the two of them casting a spell for some reason. What is going on over there? Let's go find out. I start walking towards them.
Yeah, Berg follows along.
Okay. All right. So, have you decided, Kalimat, what you want your question to the tower to be?
Yes.
Okay.
The question is, what manner of being is the creature Kalimat met and freed in Utrich's oubliette?
Okay. All right.
Do you have to say that question out loud?
Yes, I think it's part of the ritual.
So maybe that's right where me and Berg step into the conversation, is Kalimat saying, what is the creature that I spoke to and let out? And we're just kind of like, what? Because this is the first time us hearing
Yeah,
it.
as Ramus is concentrating and praying. There's incense drifting up from the sacrifice, and the coins flicker and are vanishing as you ask this question. And I think what you see, the smoke kind of flickers and sparks. There's a brief flash of light. It's all very theatrical, and there is lying on the spot in the center of the circle you've drawn in the sand. Lying in the spot is a red envelope with a gold seal on it. It's like a red paper envelope with a gold wax seal, and it's just sitting there.
Ramus, what is this? And what out of Kalamat? Why did you keep this from us?
Divine magic happening. Quiet, wizard.
I just
I'll explain
Kalamat.
everything in a moment, Saliafa.
Kalimat, your answer is here. I warn you, the gods are sometimes vague or cryptic. You may open
And I
the
can
letter.
physically like reach out
You
and grab
physically
this
just pick it
envelope.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I pick it up.
Yeah. Okay. It's light. It's made of like really high quality, fine paper, dyed a deep scarlet or crimson. Yeah, it's sealed with gold wax.
Well, read the note already. What are you waiting for?
I just look at it.
Yeah, my hands are just up in the air, and I literally like try to snatch it out of your hands.
Yeah, I mean,
Grab-
I feel like this is the answer to a riddle. Like, what can make a turtle go fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tasty ass turtle.
I take out one of my crossbow bolts with a blade edge, and I gingerly I don't want to disturb the wax seal because I want to keep this. So
So does anybody? No one in the party speaks or understands Celestial, right?
No,
It's not a language anyone in this party has.
not in this.
Let me
So
double
there's-
check.
There is a on the seal. There is a symbol of some kind, like an arcane rune in the wax, and then around the outside edge there's characters in Celestial. And you slip your knife under it, and you break the seal, and you open it, and inside there is a piece of paper. It's a fine linen paper folded 3 times in ivory.
unfolded.
Okay. All right. So you unfold
Really
it.
draw this out.
The message first is written in that same celestial language you don't understand. And then again, it's rewritten, or they might be 2 separate things, but they look to be about the same length. There's another line underneath. And it says on it in common, the Heavenly Bureau of Divination and Oracles is dismayed to report that it cannot answer your question at this time. We apologize humbly.
Do you read that out loud?
No.
What does it say? What does it say, Kalimat?
I have it sitting I have it in my hand. I'm just like,
If you physically don't say anything, I literally will grab it out of your hands and try to read it.
I'll let that happen.
Okay, so you're just standing there like that. And the turtle hand just comes in and grabs it.
I hear that when you said that, I hear that in like the voice of in Harry Potter, those letters that speak like hoping you all well.
Yeah. So I sit there and I will read out what it says on the letter.
Yeah, and so because the language common is a language that was invented in the Court of Coins, and as such uses ideograms. So we're not seeing Latin characters making words. We're seeing beautifully calligraphied characters. The character for disappointment is possibly the most beautiful illustration of the character for disappointment you've ever seen in your life, Sully. The person who wrote this is an expert scribe, the likes of which certainly none of your pleb friends have ever seen.
Right.
And it is incredibly well written in the darkest, blackest ink, and apologizes for heaven's inability to answer your prayer. Sorry.
Yeah, I read that out loud and go, this could happen? Ramus, make sense of this. What is happening right now? And I kind of just look around at all of us.
Even heaven doesn't know, and that's not good. That is a very bad thing.
Well, no. Logically speaking, they can't tell us at this moment. It's not that they don't know.
There, you hear suddenly, interrupting you, you hear the ringing, the gentle tinkling of a bell. There's a puff of smoke, and lying in the center of the circle is 24 gold coins.
I move the thing.
The-
What?
the heaven took its cut, but its fee, but they gave us most of the sacrifice back because they don't know.
You should have asked someone
is-
else. Kalima, Ice. We asked, and I just kind of throw it up. I'm going to sleep. And I start walking back towards my tent, and the letter's kind of like wafting down. To
I
the
grabbed
ground
the
from there.
letter in the envelope because they're very pretty, and I put them in my pocket.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Also, it's nothing else but proof that heaven just like
Heaven fucked off, man.
I just
They
love
tried.
how a fucking like powerful celestial being just happens to come down and talk to Berg, and I can't get a fucking answer.
what was
Listen,
your
man.
exact question?
Listen, man, mysteries are easy to come by. Answers are much harder.
Yeah. No, my exact question is in the chat, or is in the window.
The Roll20.
Oh, okay. I see. I see.
What manner of being is the creature Kalimat met and freed in Utrix's oubliette? And they're like, we can't tell you. And if maybe we can or maybe we can't, but we're not gonna.
Yeah, we regret to inform you that we are unable to answer your prayer at this time.
Yo, that's hilarious. Which is also kind of cryptic in and of itself. Which like could be like,
No, it's like an answering
no
machine.
gods are here to answer.
Yeah, that's how I took it. That's why I was saying, logically speaking, they didn't give us an answer. It seemed like an automated response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, the god you were trying to contact is not currently in heaven.
Right.
Please
Get
give a
an out of,
message.
an out of office reply from the god of divinations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The oracle god is in Tahiti for 3 weeks with his girlfriend.
Yeah. No. Okay. So I'm just stunned, and I asked Ramus, how long before I can ask another question?
The spell's
Because-
quite draining. I need at least a day to recover. Takes a lot
Okay.
out of a priest to cast this.
Okay. What do you make of this, Ramus?
The same thing that I make of the weapon is whatever we're dealing with here is beyond everything that we know and even the divines know. Something foreign to all of us, and that is scary.
Indeed. Huh. Well, thank you for trying. I do appreciate it.
No problem. It's what I'm here for. To serve. And I'll be
So-
keeping these for casting the spell. I'm gonna put the 24 gold in my pocket.
These are mine now. So I think
Fair
that
enough.
like the scene sort of ends, and before we fade to break, we fade out of this scene and into another scene. We see the inside of a beautiful like scriptorium. There's a massive ivory and gold desk. There are ferns hanging from the ceiling, and before the desk there is what looks like the end of a infinitely complex pipe organ. The open ends of these golden pipes, like a laid out. There's probably 200 or 300 of them. On the desk, we can see an enormous pile of ivory paper. And on the other side, an enormous pile of red envelopes. There's a gold candle flickering. And at the desk, we see a figure. She is impossible to age. She looks more or less human. She has a shaved head, pale bronze skin, and a line of gems running down her forehead from her scalp to the top of her nose. And we see her, and a bell rings, and she sighs. And you can see she's overworked. She sighs, she picks up a piece of paper, puts it down, and begins to write. The Office of Divination and Oratory, and folds the paper up, puts it in an envelope, puts it into one of the tubes. The bell rings again. She grabs another one, and she just continues to do this, like sighing and rolling her eyes and scribing as quickly as she can. And then we fade to break.
Oh shit.
All right. Well, let's take our break then, real quick, and we'll come back and go into part number 2 because we still got some orcs to meet. So that whole shenanigans is going to start right after this. So we'll take our quick break. We'll be right back in 4 to 5 minutes. We'll see you guys in part 2 right after this.